Hey, look at there he is. And notice a few things.
That's
Dave, come on
right.
over
Look
here.
at the way, yeah.
You know it's going to be a good time with Dave Szafranski when the tie is missing and the top button is open. Dave is relaxed.
Hold on.
No, please don't. No one needs to see that.
My kid one time said,
Gonna be
"Dad,
hair coming out
it
of it."
looks like a squirrel's trying to get out of your shirt."
And you look as a matter of fact. So we are here. Dave is going to answer your financial questions live on Facebook. You can watch the drama unfold. He's ready. His tie is gone. His shirt is unbuttoned. Janelle's got her sweatband on. She's ready to.
It is not a sweatband.
What
Oh,
is it?
sorry.
How dare you? No, it's just a band. Sweatband, first of all.
She's gonna get physical. No. I don't. I'm
Stop.
sorry. I don't know. I didn't have a sister. What are the hair? What's the hair terminology
Just a
for that?
headband,
It's
right?
nice.
Headband.
I like it.
Yeah.
It's called a
There are
headband.
sweatbands, though. I don't use them.
Didn't
but-
LeBron wear a sweatband?
He sure did.
A lot of basketball players wear the
No,
sweatband.
LeBron, but LeBron's important. Did you like LeBron?
I did like LeBron, and I was in total agreement with him leaving the Cavs. Because, now remember, I work in sports.
Okay.
Okay, so when somebody, like, he didn't come back to the Cavs and say, "I want to renegotiate my contract." No, he did everything the Cavs had asked of him. Everything and more, right? He played his heart out, and his contract was up, and they weren't going to assemble the team around him, and he wanted to win a championship. I don't
Yeah.
blame him. He did everything we've ever asked, and then he moved on and came back. So I have no problem with LeBron.
Dave Szafranski, president and founder of Edgewater Investment Group, here to answer your financial questions. What's up, Deborah, Callie, Mike, Eva, all saying good morning. Good morning to you. Hello.
Deborah's
morning.
laughing at you. Look. Good. Yes,
'Cause I'm-
Deborah. He's
'cause I'm
funny.
funny.
Looking.
Somebody likes your headband, by the way.
What? Where did they say it?
Deborah, band looks nice.
Oh, thank you.
At first I was like, you can't see the band. Oh, wait, the headband.
The headband.
Callie says,
Not the
off
Brandon
to
Oben.
my MOPS meeting. Miss seeing your wife, Brian.
Yeah, Callie was in my wife's MOPS group. Say hi to them
MOPS
for
is
me.
awesome. I love MOPS.
Did Sarah get kicked out or something? What
No,
happened?
you like actually graduate from MOPS at some point.
Oh.
Mothers of preschoolers.
Oh,
Once your
okay.
preschoolers are all gone.
We'll have
you're
another
out.
baby.
Get out. No, thank you, sir.
Leslie,
No,
good
thank you.
morning, Leslie. Any financial questions you have? We have the expert here.
Or marriage questions. I can answer questions on marriage.
Okay, ask him for tips on in-laws while we get questions.
Oh, I got some good tips on that.
Oh, no. This
I
is
got
not
some
a good
good
idea.
No.
This is not a good idea. No, I do want to hassle you. I went home and got my wife all excited a while ago because I told her that interest rates are going down to 3.25%. And I'd like you to tell me where are interest rates today and when mortgage interest rates, and when will they actually get to 3.25% like you promised, Dave?
Well, they're higher now. They're like at 4.25. Like at 4.25.
4.25?
Yeah, the
Wow.
rates did go up because the 10-year Treasury went up. But I do think it is my opinion right now
Oh,
that
Brian.
the next move for the Fed is down.
Which will bring it to 4.
Well, it could bring it to 3.75.
I want 3.25%, Dave.
I want 3.25 too. I really want 3.25 because I also held off on the refi
Did
thinking
you?
3.25, and so
I
it
was
just
looking
goes to
forward to
show
that.
you that I only need to be right, 51% of the time,
Oh, wow.
and I win. Right?
That's right.
You're like a weatherman.
No, I'm
Yes.
sorry. I'm sorry. This is much more important. What I do, I help people plan their lives. Weathermen help people plan their day. Whoopee fizz. Their
Oh.
day. Oh, should I carry an umbrella or wear a coat?
Is that
Well, you live in Cleveland. You wear a coat, right? It's January. It's supposed to be cold.
Is that a saying from the Polish boys gang you were in?
Whoopee fizz.
Whoopee fizz?
Yes, absolutely.
That's after you hit people with a kielbasa, you
Pierogi.
pierogi, whoopee fizz?
Yes.
Okay.
Leonard Tank says, shirt open, no tie means he got money.
Is that what it means?
Notice I don't even have a collar on my shirt. I'm not sure what that says.
You can't even afford a collar. that was $10 extra.
Man.
So you're saying the Fed may lower interest rates, but we're not even close to the zone of 3.
We're not close right now, but here's what I want you to realize: when you look at your mortgage, and the difference between like 3.75 and 3.25 is actually relatively small. And I don't actually want you to. I want you to get a 30-year mortgage. Okay, I want you to refi for 30 years. but I don't want you to take 30 years to pay it off. The reason why I like 30 years is because it has the lowest monthly obligation, right? Because you're stretching it out over time. If you did a 20-year mortgage, you have to pay more each month. And what I want you to do is I want you to have that flexibility of paying less. It gives you more flexibility, but I actually want you to pay more. I want you to make it a 15 or a 20-year mortgage by paying a little bit more. But let's say that we run into hard times, which we will eventually, right? There's going to be a tough economy out there somewhere. We don't know when. I don't think it's right now, but we don't know when. Well, when that happens, if you need to kind of circle the wagons and tighten the budgets, well, then you go back to paying what's required of you, which is going to be less. But ideally, I'd like you to make 1 or 2 extra mortgage payments a year on your 30-year mortgage. It's going to lower your mortgage by 10, maybe 12 years, depending on your rate.
And now, so some people might have been hoping for some sort of cash out refinance with lower interest rates, and that's not an option. So what kind of interest rate can you get on a home equity line of credit?
Now that's going to be a little bit higher. It's considered like a second mortgage. So you're going to be probably in the high 4s on that.
But still pretty good compared
Still
to you
good.
putting on a credit card.
But what do you want to use it for? Are you going to
Home
take the
improvement.
vacation of your dreams?
No, home improvement.
Okay. So you're going to actually improve your living situation. You're going to do the kitchen. You're going to improve the bath. Because when you walk into a house today, remember a bathroom from like 40 years ago was a toilet and a sink, right? And maybe a small shower.
People like Janelle that demanded all these foo-foo things in there.
Yeah, and now people want a glamour bath. Well, and we built our house. We downsized, built a small house in Vermilion, and I said the only thing I want, there were 2 things I want. I want a big shower, okay? And the builder tried to talk me out of a shower, out of a big shower. I said, listen, I'm only getting to decide one thing in this house, and that's what I want. So if you bring that up again, I'm hiring another builder.
Oh.
And in the master bathroom, I wanted a water closet.
What is that, please?
That's like a separate room for the toilet, right? And for Polish people, that's critical. It's just critical.
I don't think I want to ask why.
You just trust me on this.
I don't know what to do with
It's
that.
critical. So, he tried to talk me out of that too. And I said, okay, that's strike 2. One more strike, and I'm going to build this house
Baseball.
myself.
Pastor Tanks wants to know how long should you wait to refinance after buying a home?
Well, depending on where your rate was, if you could beat your current rate by, I'd say, 1%, you don't really have to wait.
So it doesn't matter how long it's been, it matters what the percent is of your current
Yeah,
mortgage
'cause
versus the refinance.
This is just going to be a financial equation. Where am I going to pay less over time? And what you could do is you could do this online. You could just go Google amortization table, right? And you could say, okay, if
You
I
have to be able to spell that first, but okay, go ahead.
amortization, you don't have to spell it. Google will correct you.
I'm lost
Okay.
already.
You just put in your current mortgage, the rate, how long you're going to pay for it, and it's going to tell you how much it's going to cost you. And then you could do your new rate and how much it's going to, and it'll show you how much it's going to cost you. Whichever one is less, that's the one you do. So remember though, when you refi, there's costs involved, right?
Closing costs and appraisal.
Appraisal, everybody has to pay the appraisal fee because the bank doesn't actually, the bank isn't paying, they're not doing the appraisal. They're paying somebody to do the appraisal. It's usually like $350, $400.
Is there ever a time when it makes sense for somebody to pay for their own appraisal separate from a refinance process, just to evaluate if they actually have built up enough equity in their home?
Yeah, if you want to drop your PMI insurance, you might have to pay for an appraisal. And
On your own.
you could tell the bank,
Will the bank accept that appraisal?
if it's one of their appraisers, yeah, they probably have a list of approved appraisers.
But you pay for it.
Yeah, but you might save a lot of money over time to do that.
Interesting. So that might be an avenue for someone to
Yes,
pursue.
absolutely.
Interesting. Okay.
Melinda says, hey, so good to see where your place is that you broadcast from. Listening to you every morning on my way to work. Good
Hey,
morning,
Melinda.
Melissa. Oh, Melinda.
Melinda, she doesn't even know what your name is.
No,
Melinda,
I'm sorry, Melinda.
We
no.
know
so
you,
good to
Melinda.
have you here. We know
Sorry.
We know you, we love you.
you. See, men are so focused and
Wow.
they pay attention,
Sorry,
right, Dave?
guys.
I'm sorry, what?
Also, Melissa.
Betty, buenos dias.
Melissa said good morning. Good morning, Melissa.
Betty, my aunt's name is Betty.
Betty.
So in Spanish, Betty is Betty.
Betty, but that's her nickname because her name's Beatriz. Betty is your, cause she looks Spanish. Is your name a nickname? What's your full name? Tell me.
Do you know how you say Betty in Portuguese?
See, there's Melissa.
Betty.
I'm not
Betty.
crazy.
I actually can say one word in almost every language. No. It's quite literally no in almost every language.
Yeah.
John says,
No.
I'm looking to buy a used car. What is your opinion on buying cars with only cash? Even if the vehicle is expensive, would you recommend using some credit if you get a low rate so you can have some cash available to invest or use for an emergency fund?
Yeah, I would. Here's my on debt in general. Okay, let's take out the car. Doesn't matter what the debt is. I would rather have some debt and some cash than no debt and no cash. Right? Did I say that right? Some debt.
I think you did. It's just math, so I get foggy.
I'd rather have some debt and some cash rather than no debt and no cash. And the best example of this is 2008, because a lot of people had paid off houses and they accelerated the payments and they used their savings and they did everything. They threw everything at it. Pay off this house. Larry Burkett said pay it off. I got to do it. And then 2008 hit and they couldn't pay their taxes. There was an emergency. They had no cash. I want to have some cash at the and I know it's going to cost more because I'm carrying some debt, but I need to have cash. That is my safety valve. It's my out. Cash is like one size fits all. It takes care of every financial problem when you have one. So I got to have some cash, and I'm willing to do it at some debt. So I do not want to take all my savings to pay off my house. I do not, and you should not. So let's say he goes, now there's never going to be a 0% finance on a used car. There just isn't. They don't do that. But there could be low rates. And so if you're buying a relatively inexpensive used car, which I like doing, I like buying a 2-year-old. A lot of people lease cars, and you know how I feel about lease cars.
There we go.
Yeah,
You know how I feel?
I know, yeah.
Smart people do lease cars. They
Smart
do.
To dumb people.
The dumb people. That's who leases. So these.
I'm almost
pe-
a year in, by the way, and I'm under mileage.
Yeah. Anyway.
Ah.
But you have to think about that. Every time you do this or press the button, how far am I driving today? I don't want to do that. I just drive.
Well, I
I'm
thought
like
your
free
reason
like the
was-
wind.
I thought your reason was something else. I thought it was more you pay a car payment and in the end you don't own the car.
By
That's
the
true.
way,
It's
That's
like
true.
renting.
Yeah, it's like
versus-
renting a
Betty answered your question. Her name's Elizabeth.
Elizabeth. Are you
I
Hispanic?
love when they do that.
Elizabeth.
It's
So
the
she
same
said
thing,
they
Elizabeth.
used to call her
It sounds so
Lisa.
dramatic.
I feel like I'm at home. Her name's Betty. There's not a lot of Bettys, but maybe it's because
Betty?
I'm saying it. There's
And when I
Betty.
was in Mexico, they say, Senor, your name is not David.
It's
Here
David.
it's David.
That's right,
So it
David.
sounds so important.
We also once had Tanisha give to Cher, and she goes, Tanisha! I was like, no, Tanisha.
If I say your name in Spanish, that means I feel your family. So
Now, okay, Tanks asked a really interesting question, follow up
Does
on an
Tanks
earlier
do
one,
anything
something.
except text?
No, he's the pastor. They don't do anything. They just preach on
Oh
Sunday.
no, you didn't.
He probably does his sermon like on the way to church. What am I going to speak about today? Oh,
Oh, my
I got the
goodness.
hip pocket one.
So now, okay, his basement was unfinished.
Mm-hmm.
He's just about done finishing his basement.
Yes.
Would that be a time for somebody on their own to get their own appraisal in order to get equity,
Well,
or to evaluate equity?
I wouldn't do it just to do it because it's just money out of pocket, right? The things that really add equity to your house, one of them is finishing a space that was previously unfinished, especially if you're putting in a bathroom. Bathrooms are things that people love because, especially if you have kids, like, hey, go to the bathroom downstairs where I don't have to deal with any of this stuff. So if you add bathrooms, living space, bedrooms, things like that, it does add a lot to your house. If you redo a kitchen, if you put a glamour bath in for Janelle, like Glenn has probably done 4 times,
Yes,
right?
he does.
He
He's amazing.
refinished the bathroom for her because she was
Amazing.
whining about it. It wasn't good enough. Water and a toilet wasn't good enough for her.
What?
Yeah.
He's amazing. He does the tiles, everything.
The guy,
He was sick of all her complaining.
Next is my
That's what it
kitchen.
was.
Yeah.
He was sick of every day. Man, it's just so hard to get in this bathroom.
No, that's what he said. I'm like, I never ask you. You know I have a to-do list. Like, aren't you lucky? He's like, yes, I do. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He says,
it's
whenever
an
you
unknown
said,
to-do list. It's
Yeah.
unknown.
He says, if you say something doesn't bother you, that's a list right there for me. I mean, something bothers you.
The poor guy.
Do you? Are you like that? You love your wife like that? She doesn't even have to ask. She could just be like, I wish my bathroom looked better.
That is so. Can I just call that what it is? Passive aggressive.
It's not. I didn't do it on purpose though.
One thing my wife
It's
is
not
not.
on purpose.
It's passive
I
aggressive.
stopped doing it though. Now, when he told me he took it that way, I was like, oh, and so I stopped. I
I
didn't
sure
realize.
wish this bathroom looked nicer.
Oh,
That's
goodness.
passive aggressive.
Whatever.
My wife is not passive aggressive. She's just aggressive. She's like, hey, this bathroom's got to get redone.
Wow.
Get on it.
And then she snaps.
Yeah.
Janelle snaps at me all the time. She
I
does.
snap-
Right.
yeah.
Go.
But what I do,
It
what I
works
get
too,
to
I
do
just-
is I get to buy tools. I'm like, well, you
Oh,
know,
cool.
honey, I really want to do this right for you. I want to make this
Ooh,
exactly what you
nice.
want. However, I need these 5 things. So I drive down to Kime Lumber and I buy the best ones. I was down at Kime Lumber and I text Brian a picture
did.
of all these Craig jigs. I have a
Aw.
Craig corner. I'm like, this place is great.
Yeah, if they've got a Craig, K-R-E-G-G section at any hardware store, it's a great place.
Kime Lumber is not just any hardware store. It is the hardware store.
Oh. Betty says, I told you, she says she loves when I say her name because her papi used to say it that way. And she's quoting Betty Boop. Boop, Bob, do. I never watched Betty
Boo
Boop.
boopy doo. Boo.
Kathy says, 23-year-old, my 23-year-old is in credit card debt. She's in collections. She
Right.
set up payments with a company, but credit cards refuse to work with her. Christian agency won't work with her because she's in collections. Any help for her?
Can't you
Dave?
settle with a collection agency?
You can settle with the credit card company. It
What
is
about the
gonna-
collection agency?
You can. I mean, depending on the amount that we're talking about, you could work a deal with them. You have to be persistent. You have to be able to negotiate. These are the things, though, and I don't want to beat up on her. You know, I like to keep people out of debt, but once they're in there and they're in trouble, I don't need to beat up on them. They know the problem. What I want to do is provide an out for them
Yeah.
and provide hope, because it's not the end of the world. You're 23, you're going to work through this. There's light at the end of the tunnel, and you can get your finances perfect, but you got to start from here. And so I've had people come to my office in credit card debt, in debt, budget is a mess. They want to declare bankruptcy. I'm just like, whoa, slow your roll. We're not going to do that.
By the way, you've never said slow your roll.
You
Really.
got good income. I say it here, don't I?
You do, but it's for show.
Slow your roll, pump the brakes. We're going to work this out. We're going to get you guys straight, and they can do it. So she could do it. We just got to, you know, I want to help her. This is a person that I think that I could help.
So email. You want me to tell her?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so email us, Kathy, and we'll connect you to Dave Szafranski. He wants to help you and your daughter.
Yes. Single
Wait,
mom?
Mike asked a
Single
question
mom?
up there.
I don't know if she's a single mom, but I like that you're offering to help because it's a pattern that could continue throughout her life. So if you can,
Yeah.
like you said, it's more than the debt. It's what got you there.
Right.
In
So
terms of the 23-year-old.
this is a hard issue, right? I want things. I can't afford it, but I'm going to get them anyway.
Yeah.
This is a hard issue. So I got to warn her, we may slap her knuckles with
Yeah.
a ruler.
Ooh.
We may do that.
My we grew up at a time where it was still legal for teachers to hit you. My kindergarten teacher would hit us that way.
It's still legal in Texas, by the way.
Oh,
Look, I have rarely met a
Corporal
kid.
punishment.
I have rarely met a kid that doesn't need to be hit. Okay, most kids need a swap.
Len's. Can I just tell
Remember,
y'all
they're
one
his
thing?
opinions, not necessarily Moody Radio's.
Len's lectures are so long that we had a family meeting during Christmas break. And the kids were like, can you just like spank us? Can you go back to spanking?
Dad, please just hit me. Hit me.
They just told him, and he was like, for real? They were like, yes, like we just want to spank
But
him.
most adults I talk to, they also need a whack. Like in finance, you hear the most
A whack.
cockamamie plans.
You should hire Brian to do that for you. I'll get you
I
in the
just-
hallway.
Look, come a little closer and just say that a little. I can't hear you. Come a little closer. And just give them a financial whack.
Back of the
upside
head.
the-
Just it.
Back of the head.
You
Yeah,
would
I'm
love
not
that.
going to leave a bruise.
By
I
the
might
way,
mess up your hair and knock your toupee off.
Hi,
but-
Giselle. Oh, my sister's name's Giselle. Aw.
Pastor Tanks claims that you actually said slow your roll to him. Which, by the way, Tanks, makes it even more awkward.
Yeah.
Why?
Hey there, slow your roll. I'm Dave Szafranski.
I don't
Brother?
talk like that.
Betty,
Yeah, you do.
Betty
Brother.
said she retired at the end of 2018.
Mm-hmm.
She still doesn't know what to do with her TSP.
I'm not as worried about your TSP as I am about your life. What are you going to do with your life now that you got nothing to do?
Look,
Do
look,
you
look.
have a plan?
Look what she says. I can use one of those financial whacks. So go ahead, give it to her.
Come a little closer.
fact, you
Come a
agree.
little closer. Yeah.
Time spent packing?
TSP is a retirement plan.
So the TSP is totally irrelevant. It means nothing whatsoever.
Well, it's the thrift savings plan. So she works in the
Tiny
government.
people savings.
Thrift savings plan, probably with the postal service.
TSP.
Oh, tiny savings people.
So here's what we want to do. We have a couple of choices. One, you could leave it there, which I generally don't recommend because there's not enough stuff
You smacked her.
in the you hit her. You're so violent, Brian. You're so violent. So what I like to do is I like to pick up that retirement plan. I like to move it to your own IRA. Okay. Now where you do that's totally up to you. And then you could devise a portfolio that fits exactly what you need. Do you need income? Do you want growth? So we could do a little bit of both. We could do one or the other, but we have a lot of options. In the TSP, you just don't have enough options. So I want to move it to an IRA.
And let's be clear that in finance you don't have enough acronyms. You need more. Lots more.
I was in the military, which is like acronym city. They have more could you just explain those letters to me? It's a weapon system. Oh, whatever. And then finance has a lot of acronyms too. So an IRA is an individual retirement account. It's a tax-free transfer. The government knows it happened, but they don't tax you on it because it's going from one qualified plan to another qualified plan. And you get taxed as you bring the money out.
I'm zoning out here. I don't
For
know
the
what you're saying.
info-
Eyes glassed over.
I don't know what
For
you're
some
Somebody
background,
knew what he was saying.
Betty is caring for a sick spouse.
Oh, Betty,
so
that's
just
terrible.
any other words
Sorry.
for her in terms of how she can help. She's the one that's retired that you're helping right now.
Yeah, if your medical expenses are 7.5% of your adjusted gross income, you could deduct them. Probably see an accountant. Just to go through your taxes, you could see an accountant for like $150. And if all they save you is $150, then it was a wash plus your time, right? If they save you $500, then you won plus your time. So you tell me, what is it worth to you to go see somebody who might be able to help you save some money on taxes? What's it worth? Is it worth your time? Probably.
Somebody asked during the show, and this comes up a lot, so it may help you guys. Good credit cards to help with a 16-year-old for young people or to help develop credit.
Here's my advice for your 16-year-old.
Get a job.
Tank's basement.
Go ahead.
Lock him in a room. Now, when he's 18, what I want you to do is so you got to put an air hole in there, right?
Oh, my
So you
goodness.
can breathe. At 18, I want you to take a cork and block the air hole. That's what you do with your 16-year-old.
Wow,
But
you got one.
No,
About
she's-
to.
no.
About to.
here's
When does
what
she
I would-
turn 16?
A year from August.
She is 14.
Is she driving? She can't drive
Yeah,
yet.
she can't.
No, great. Praise
Look,
the Lord.
when she turns 16, you should buy her a car. Okay?
Once she turns 16, you should buy her a car.
Well, don't you want your daughter to be happy?
Oh,
Don't you want her to
that
be like
brings
her
up. Can I ask you a question then? Because we're in that right now. So when I was growing up, it's an issue in our marriage. I have a 16-year-old, and he's very responsible. When I was growing up, my dad got me a car.
Yeah.
Like at 16, it was amazing.
And you're bringing that up a lot to your husband?
Len,
Yeah.
no, well,
In the
Sure, loves
bathroom.
we just have different perspectives because Len didn't have a car as a teenager, and so he's looking at his son, and he's telling me, "You don't just get stuff in life. Like, how are we just gonna give him a car?"
I love this. I love this, though. Can we hit pause on this? Because
You mean want her to slow her roll?
I sure wish this bathroom was nicer. Boy, when I was a young kid, my dad got me a
He
car.
got me a car.
Yeah.
I was chilling.
So you're asking the financial responsibility of getting a teenager a car.
No, listen, because my son said, "I'll get a job," and Len said, "No, you cannot get a job. No, listen why. Not right now, because he's like, you're doing sports, you're doing schoolwork, and so he was like, that's just a big distraction. So
Yes.
I'm telling him, okay, well then you're not leaving him an option. It's either he doesn't have. So right now
Right.
he's using a car to make my life better. But Len, whenever I'm like, okay, go put this in your car, that is not his car. That is my car. So how do you deal, just overall, for
Okay.
people listening?
So,
with
In
that?
case Len's listening.
Your kid is very responsible and he's very busy. So it's true that getting a job would take him away from those things that he's doing. So in the summer, he's got to work.
Yeah,
He's got to work. And then as long as he maintains a 3.5
School,
or
So his
whatever.
mom can pad the grades.
I would not do that. Anyways.
We need,
listen.
we need an outside evaluator. We need a disinterested third party to see if this kid is really who she says he is.
Oh, Daddy's gonna take away your car, honey. I'll just bump it up a little bit.
Oh, no, but overall,
You would have got the right answer had I taught you right.
Oh, goodness. It's not just about me. You're saying with a teenager, if they meet certain qualifications, it's okay to not have a job and get
Yeah,
car,
especially if
for
they're
example.
doing the things that you want them to do, the things that really help a kid. You know, so many kids today don't do anything. So if they're playing sports and they're really trying, you know, they're doing well in school. Now, remember, not every kid, my wife is a teacher, so I know this.
Yeah.
Not every kid is a 4-point student.
Right. No, it's effort.
Yeah, if
Right,
they're
hard work.
if they are achieving to their ability and they're working at it, and every kid is different, then I can support the car idea or using the car.
Len, I'm with you.
You're
no
with
car for
Len?
the kids. Get a
Wow.
job.
But
He can't
But-
get a job. He's like, you can't
Quit
get a
everything.
job.
Get a job.
if they're not
With
doing their
everything.
part,
Wow.
if they're not willing to do their part, don't come to me and ask me to do my part because this is
Yeah.
a team effort. And if you're not going to be part of the team, then I'm out. I'm out.
I think then that Janelle and Dave should buy cars for my
For
children
teenagers.
when they turn 16.
You're going to need a used car lot for your kids.
I still don't even know how we're going to do it, Dave.
Well,
I have a
maybe your
narrow
kids don't have a
driveway.
car.
Oh,
Maybe your
please.
kids don't
You
have a
guys do,
car.
please.
Like, a car really is not a necessity. And so when your kid says to you,
With our family, yes, it is. If Grace could drive herself to all the stuff she says she wants to do,
I'd never
and
see
help
her again.
drive
She'd
a
come asking for gas
sibling.
money.
well, look, if your kid says, well, I want to go work over here at the mall, ride your bike. I rode my bike. I worked at a Taste of
Yeah.
Baker Square. I rode my bike. I rode my
In the
bike.
snow, backwards.
No,
up
I
the
didn't
hill.
ride my bike in the snow. My dad would drive me or I would get picked up. But in the summer, I
Len
would just
wouldn't
ride my
drive you,
bike.
in case you're wondering.
He's too
Remember-
busy working on the bathroom.
Remember when it was raining and they were going to ride their bikes?
It was raining, and Len had already told me, you are not driving these two to practice. They're grown. They can ride their bikes. You already got the younger ones. So one day it was raining, pouring rain, and I was like, Len wasn't home yet. I was like, oh, wait, hold up. What I'll do is I'll just take you while I do whatever. And so I get in the car, I'm pulling out, and Len comes in. He's like, where are you going? And I was like, oh, I'm going to take him. It's raining. I don't care. He said, get out, grab your bike, and go. Yeah, he did
That's
not
right up your alley, tough guy.
Yeah.
That's.
It will be snowing. He does not care. He's like, y'all won't
I
die.
like Len. The more I hear about Len, the more I think he should write a book. Len should write a book.
I can't wait till you guys sit and talk. But you might actually feed into the madness. I don't know about that.
So there's two guys that I think should write a book. Len, for one. And then when I see like a 60-year-old guy married to a 25-year-old girl, I say, you should write a book. People would read it.
It's time
How you
for us
close
to
this
go.
deal, how you got this to work, looking the way you do,
oh
you
my
should write a
goodness,
book.
Brian!
He's got a big bank account and a cough, Dave.
Oh, wow.
We got to go at that. So thanks, family. Thank you,
We
Dave.
love y'all.
If you want to reach out to Dave Szafranski, President and founder of Edgewater Investment
That
Group,
was a good question.
just
Can we
message
please-
us.
We can't do this question.
Look at her.
I feel bad.
Sure would be nice if we could answer that
Valerie,
question.
We'll get you. We'll get you.
No, go
Listen.
ahead. Answer the
So
question.
Valerie says I have a 96-year-old
So just like the
uncle.
bathroom.
I'm sorry. I just want to.
Sure would be nice if this bathroom was.
Aw. She said, I have a 96-year-old uncle whose wife passed, and she had a lot of medical bills, $140,000.
Oof.
The bills were all in her name. They have no estate. He's on Medicare. I was told he's not responsible for paying them. Is that true? Also was told after 6 months, no one can try to collect.
Well, I don't know about the 6 months try to collect, but quite possibly the bills are not in his responsibility because they were in her name. But you know what I would do? I always like to be proactive. I don't want to let people come after me. I want to go after them. So I would call the hospital and I would say, look, I want to do the right thing here. How do we make this work? Can you forgive the bills? He doesn't have the money to pay. Can you forgive the bills? And probably they will say yes. They have benevolence funds. They have
Tons of it.
foundations.
They write off tons
They
of it.
probably will write off that debt. But I want to hear it from them and I want to approach them. So whether it's the IRS or my wife or the hospital or whatever, I want to be the first one to say, what can I do here to make this right?
Okay, and then we gotta go, and I just want to give a shout out to my sister Giselle is online, so we got 2 Giselles in the group.
Too bad she didn't come earlier. I'd ask her about Janelle's passive aggressive tendencies. Any other passive
As a
aggressive
child.
tendencies before we
Wow,
go?
guys, that was really not passive aggressive. I stopped doing it. I didn't
Oh,
realize.
you mean we can't take this last question?
You mean you just want to leave this person hanging out there?
Giselle goes.
Oh, Len, boy, sure would be nice if this bathroom was bigger.
It's not like that. I would have said, I'll say stuff like, man, this kitchen's so dark. And I'll know, like, no.
How is that different?
Mission accomplished.
It's so dark in here. How can I ever work in how dark it is in
How
here?
can I
husband?
cook you a good meal if I'm cooking on these old appliances?
Wow, okay,
I don't know
guys.
how I make this work.
Alrighty. Bye, Betty and Giselle and Mike.
Janelle says it's time to go, so
Now
it's
it is time to go.
Bye, Cat. Oh, wow. Kathy.
Now it is time.
That's for your sister. I'm sure she'll enjoy
You
that.
guys are crazy.